23rd of November, Rabbi Levitt, Pele, Yoetz.
Oh, thanks to Lou.
You're welcome. Okay. It is well known that robbing a non-Jew is worse than robbing a Jew, for it is accompanied by the severe sin of the desecration of God's name. The Kabbalists wrote that a Jew robbing a non-Jew causes the spiritual power of the non-Jew to divert the influence of sanctity to the outer shells. Granted that it has been established that the financial mistake of a Gentile is permitted. However, a Jew may not trick him, even to sell him non-kosher meat and to tell him that it is from a ritually slaughtered animal, or to give him counterfeit money and tell him that it is legitimate, or to mix them together with valid currency, etc., is prohibited and is considered total robbery. So the Kabbalist statement, I don't understand.
Kabbalists wrote that a Jew robbing a non-Jew causes the spiritual power of the non-Jew to divert the influence, sanctity to the outer shells. Yeah.
Well, I think what he's saying at that point,
One line, it's not, yeah. Yeah, what is he saying?
I think what he's saying is that, the Chil Hashem there that's taking place is seen by the Goy as a refutation of Hashem to some extent. That, his people aren't even following his rules, so how important, how reasonable can he be? And therefore, any Roshem that had been made on them, and any feelings they had would be, pushed to the side because of the malactions of the Jew.
Yeah. And we don't need to, right, it's a terrible Chil Hashem. Terrible Chil Hashem. Yeah. I'm just looking in the Hebrew over here if he says any more words about this, about the Kabbalah.
I'm wondering also what it means that the mistake of a Gentile is permitted.
If you go to the store and the guy gives you the wrong change, gives you too much, you don't have to give it back. If he does it on his own, just makes a mistake and gives you too much change, you don't have to give it back.
I see.
There's a famous story with it's actually somebody from I think it was, sorry, I don't remember the story I think happened with Rav Feivel Cohen Shlita. He's a very distinguished mechaber of a very important set of Sforim, Badi HaShulchan. There's a set of Badi HaShulchan every base medrash in the world, and he had purchased a house. Oh, I think this was the story. I think the house was here we go with what we talked about before. I think the house was the house definitely the house. I don't know if he was the one that bought the house. In any case, it was a story of a house that was sold by a non-Jew, right?
Right.
And the people.
They found the desk in it. They found the desk.
They found, what I heard was it was a sum of money in the neighborhood of $30,000.
Right, in a desk.
So they
in a
wanted
desk
to
that was left
know
in the
what?
house.
Yeah,
It was.
Yeah.
It was like 3-4 years ago. It was very famous story.
I think it was much. I'm
Oh.
thinking of another story because I heard this story. When I was when I was there, and that was a long time ago.
Okay. Okay. Go ahead then.
So maybe
I have another.
another
I have
sto-
another story.
So there's more than one story like this. So in any case, the question was a very weighty question. What should be done with this money?
I'm sorry, I missed something. What, the money was lost in a desk?
The house was sold. The house was sold, and when it was sold by a non-Jew, and when there was the ones that had purchased the house were Jews, and when they went into the house, and everything had been cleared away that was supposed to be cleared away. It was clear that they had moved everything that they had wanted to move, and they left this desk or whatever. I don't know about a desk. That's something else. I don't know where the money was found. I don't remember. But there was money that was found in the house, in the neighborhood of $30,000. So the question was, is this called Gezel? Is this called Tos Akum? It's like a mistake that the money got into the hands of a Jew that belonged to a goy. He didn't steal it from the goy. So what's the obligation of the Jew? Does he have to return the money to the goy? So, if I'm not mistaken, the question was asked to Rav Moshe Feinstein Zatzal. And Rav Moshe said that, look, if you return this money, you'll make a tremendous Kiddush Hashem. You'll make a tremendous Kiddush Hashem. I don't know whether the New York Times will report it. They usually report all the Hillel Hashems that Jews do. But in any case, it certainly will be a Kiddush Hashem. Doesn't matter whether they report it or not. Hashem knows that you did it. And it would be a tremendous Kiddush Hashem if you would do it. So I understood from that story that there's no obligation, according to the strict letter of the law. It's not called Gezel. And you could keep it. But why not make a tremendous Kiddush Hashem? How many people have such a opportunity to do a thing like that? So that's what he said.
I'll follow up with two stories. One is a very similar story that was publicized because I remember reading about it online, and Aish did a story about it. There was a man who bought a house, a Jewish guy bought a house, I believe in Connecticut, and there had been a desk left in the house. The sellers moved out. They left some stuff in the house. They left a desk, and the owner was going through and he's pulling the drawers out of the desk, and he actually found an envelope taped under the drawer of the desk. Not where you would normally find it, but it was just hidden there, which had, again, a very large amount of money in it. And he says, it's clearly that the owners had not meant to leave it there because, it had been hidden there. They'd probably forgotten about it. And he called up the previous owners and he gave them the money back. He says, it's not mine. It was not part of the deal. And again, it was written up in the papers. It was online. There was a lot of publicity about it. But I also had a similar story, that I personally was involved in. I've been getting, we had a local florist, and I've been ordering to have flowers delivered to my wife every week for Shabbos. And I was going through my my checking account and I realized I don't see any of the charges for the flowers. And this has been like, 6 months. I hadn't seen any charges on it. So I went down to the store and I said, you're not charging me for the flowers you're sending me. It says, of course we are. And they showed me that they had, the records that they had charged me. And I said, no, I don't think so, because I haven't had to pay for any of them. So so I said, okay, they would go back and check. And it turns out that there was a mistake in their accounting program and I had never been charged for the flowers. So we went and say, fine. I said, okay, great. Just, we'll set up a payment plan. So, because you didn't have to pay it off all at once. We paid it off and it was fine. And the next week, when they delivered the flowers, they delivered a candy tray with it that they had bought to thank me for, helping them get everything straightened out.
Wow, very nice. Very good. Very, very good. It's also a mitzvah of to love Hashem, to cause other people to have regard for Hashem by what you do and what you say and how you act. It's all part of Avas Hashem. So, back to the Kabbalah. Now, we all know that I'm not a great expert in Kabbalah, but just to try to understand what these words are, Yedush Gezel Goy Chamur Migezel Yisrael. And then he says, Kasvu HaMekubalim Yisrael HaGozel Es HaGoy Gorim Shehasar Shel HaGoy Yigzol Shefa Me'akdusha El HaKlipa. Wow. Okay. He never gives any sources for the things that he says from the Kabbalah. But not that I have any of these for him or I would know even what they are. But so just the translation is that the Kabbalists write that a Jew who gazels from a goy, he causes that the ministering angel of this goy, he is I guess that's the way Hashem's world works. That he will do gezel. He's authorized and commanded to do gezel from the kedusha, from the kedusha in the universe, that Hashem is mashpia and gives in abundance in the universe, and that sar of the goy, he has the authority and he's authorized and commanded to steal that shefa away, to steal all that bounty away from the. Hello?
Yes, I'm here.
Oh, Mayor is on the other phone. Yes, we're. No, your system is working fine. The only thing is that I called you some time ago. The Lou is going to be hosting the meeting today. Right. Very good. Glad to have you. Bye. Okay. So he steals away the shefa. The shefa is the divine flow of beneficence, of all manner of blessing and success and everything from the kedusha that there is in the world, and he sends it to the which represents everything that's good and everything that assists the matter of sanctity in the world, and he applies it to the what he calls over here the klipa. Klipa is doesn't mean your pistachio shells that are on the table after you have your dessert for Shabbos morning, but the klipa over here is just a Kabbalistic term. It's a Kabbalistic term that refers to the side of the universe which is the opposite of kedusha, and they call it klipa instead of calling it it's referring to tuma, the impurity. So in other words, it makes so to speak, it breathes life and strength into the part of the world which is the opposite of kedusha. So it's I don't know if that's something that happens specifically with Gezel. It sounds like from what he's saying that it's something that it's unique to Gezel, because he never. I don't really know, but that's what seems like from the fact that he wrote this over here by Gezel, that this is something that the masters of Kabbalah know about the seriousness of Gezel and what it does in the spiritual worlds, in the that we know from the Nefesh HaChaim are what has great influence on this world, the lowest world. Okay.
So if I try to retranslate it based on what you just said, would this make sense? A Jew robbing a non-Jew causes the angel of the non-Jew to steal the benefits of the holiness that is normally due to the Jew.
Oh, so I don't know whether it's specifically taken from that Jew that did the stealing, or whether it's something that just affects the entire world in a cosmic sense. I don't know. He didn't say anything about the Jew himself.
So what it may be saying is that he steals the benefit that's constantly flowing into the world, and it gets shunted out to the impure area. In other words, it gets basically trashed.
Yeah. Right. So in other words, everybody loses out, not just that one person. Everybody loses out because he did. That's the point. It's actually even more severe. It's not simply that he gets what he deserves and everybody else is totally unaffected. No, not at all. What he has done has affects affects Hashem's world, and it cripples the shefa that Hashem gives into the world from the side of kedusha, and it's deflected and stolen from there and put into the opposite area, to the opposite realm, we'll call it. And so it's very, very interesting. It's like he stole, so we all get stolen from because he stole from the goy. It's very interesting because it says it doesn't. This is what he said. This is, in other words, a second reason why stealing from a non-Jew is judged even more severely than stealing from a Jew. It seems to me that he's now listed a second reason.
Right. The first
Because
reason
I
is
don't think that this-
Hashem, and the second reason is that it has this this cosmic detriment effect.
Because the ministering angel of this goy is going to steal, but in other words, we don't see it. It would seem that you could infer from what he says that when a Jew steals from another Jew, even though it's a terrible avera and it's a terrible thing, and the truth to be told, it also is a Chilul Hashem. When a Jew does any avera, there's a Chilul Hashem. If other Jews if other Jews know about it, if other Jews see it, that's a Chilul Hashem for sure. It doesn't. It's a Chilul Hashem is not only to goyim. A Chilul Hashem is also in front of Jews. And it's even more severe, really, because it causes. Why did I say it's more severe? It causes Jews who are Shomer Torah and mitzvahs to be less observant. That's a real problem. That's a real big downfall. But in any case, back to the subject over here about this Kabbalah thing over here. It sounds to me that when one Jew steals from another Jew, there isn't this Kabbalistic fallouts over here. There's not a ministering angel of that Jew that's going to steal, who's authorized to steal from the world of kedusha and trash it, like you say.
Right.
So that's what makes this. That's why he's emphasizing that to steal from a non-Jew is more severe, because it has this cosmic effect that stealing from another Jew does not have. Okay. All right, so that's also very interesting. The goy says he wants to buy from the kosher butcher, and the kosher butcher says, what the goy, he needs to eat kosher meat. I'll sell him very good meat, very fine meat, the finest quality meat. In all the treifa restaurants, that's what they buy. But if he's not allowed to do that, if the goy tells him he wants kosher meat, he's got to sell him kosher meat. And to do otherwise would be gezel. It would be gezel. It's not called simply that the tos akum that he's It's like just a mistake. It's not a mistake. It's gezel. You misled him. You tricked him. It's gezel. Even though it doesn't matter whether he's not commanded to eat kosher meat. That's what he's buying from. That's what he wants to buy from you, and you got to sell him that. And this whole story with the counterfeit money, of course, that goes without saying. What does that have to do? Obviously, you can't do that either.
What do you think about interest? You can charge interest to a non-Jew, but can you charge usurious interest?
Is there any limit on how much the interest could be?
Right.
Interesting. I mean, maybe at some point it's called gezel.
Yeah.
Because it's way above the amount that anybody charges for such things.
Right.
Mm-hmm. So you're really capitalizing on his inability to get a proper loan, and which he would only have to pay the going rate. And since he can't qualify to get a proper loan, so you're offering to take a chance on him, but you want more than the going rate.
Overcharge.
You want to say that that's gezel.
Right. I bring that up because that's one of the stereotypes against the Jews.
What's the stereotype?
That the Jewish moneylender is is basically cheating the poor non-Jew.
Well, he charges more than a non-Jew lender would charge?
Right. Right. He's gouging. He's gouging the person.
So why don't they go and lend the money from a goy then? Why? How's a Jew able to do that?
In the Middle Ages, the
maybe they're worried that if they get it from the goy, it's counterfeit money. And from the Jew, they can trust that it's real money. I don't know.
No. In the Middle Ages, the Christians had a rule that they couldn't charge interest. Just like we have a rule, we can't charge interest to a fellow Jew. They had a rule that they couldn't charge interest to anybody.
They did not charge interest.
That's why the Jews became the money lenders.
Oh, really? Oh. Uh-huh. Well, so the mere fact that they're charging any interest at all is but if no one else was, I wonder how many goyim there were that would lend money for nothing though.
The goyim weren't allowed to lend, so they all went. That's why the Jews became the moneylenders, like Lou said.
We were
Oh, there
manipulated.
was no. Uh-huh.
The goyim couldn't lend with interest to other goyim, so
Right.
that's why the Jews became the moneylenders. They had all the Jewish banking houses in Europe.
Because there would be no goy who'd lend anything for nothing. That's
Right.
for sure. So there was no goyim that was lending any money.
Exactly.
So they resent the fact that the Jew is going to lend the money and he's going to charge for it.
Right.
Even though they can't really get any better deal from anybody else anywhere anyway.
Didn't matter.
Because there's not going to be anybody who will be willing to lend them for no interest. Why should they do that?
It didn't have to be logical, is what it was.
Yeah, so I'm saying from the facts that you're telling me, just charging interest is in itself is not is permissible.
Right.
No, but what I'm
So,
asking is there a limit? Is it permissible to charge usurious interest?
Whatever the market will bear. Because if you charge too much, somebody else will undercut you.
Yeah, okay, that's business. But Lou's asking a halachic shaila: would a frum Jew be able to charge, like for example, when you talk about the prices, right? There's halachas on how much you could charge for something which is you can only charge the going rate or maybe how much is it, a sixth above the going rate,
Right.
and above that you're not allowed to charge. You're not allowed to charge unless you could say, look, I'm not providing the same service. When it comes to housing, the rule doesn't apply because they say, this house is different from. You can't just say this is a house. What's the fair market value of a house? Every house is different. There's no such thing. But if you talk about, well, you got a frum Jew over here who's selling widgets. So he sells his widgets, and he's selling it more than a sixth than everybody else is selling the widgets. So that would be a problem, unless he says, "Oh, look, what are you talking about? My widgets you can't compare my widgets to their widgets. My widgets are much better than theirs." Okay, that would also be a taina for him. He's not selling the same. There's a difference. When you buy a Cadillac and when you buy a Volkswagen. Although today I think all of the cars are extremely overpriced. And I can't believe how much they charge for cars today. The first car that I bought was less than $3,000.
Ah,
A
paid
Chevy
500
Vega, very nice car.
I paid $500 for my first car.
Me too, 500.
What
400
gives them the right to charge so
automatic.
much money for their cars? Why are cars so expensive today?
All the little
Anyway.
doohickeys and dooyaddles they have in them.
It's like you say, it's what the market will bear. So in any case, but after all this discussion, you want to know if there's a rule like this in regard to charging interest. The same that there is in when somebody sells a stam product. It's basically the same product as everybody else is selling. It's a good question. I don't know for a fact that it's permitted, and I don't know for a fact that it's usher. I don't know. I don't know. You'd have to ask a shaila if you're planning on gouging somebody, chas v'shalom. Whether it's technically permissible or not, it's certainly not the Ratzon Hashem to take advantage of another person, even a goy. But a Jew is allowed to charge interest. So what's called a permissible amount of interest to charge for money? That's So what would you say? I mean, look at what the bank charges. Look at how much you have to pay for a mortgage. We were paying for a mortgage for 20 years, and we got to after the 20 years. So, how much do we have to still pay off now? Oh, you have to pay off even more than what you borrowed. After 20 years. That's what it is.
I'd
So,
say
you're paying
that was
interest.
usurious interest that you got charged.
For the first 20 years are interest. No. And this was supposed to be a
it's not
special.
supposed to be that way. It's supposed to be that you pay off some of the principal, but in the beginning, the relative amount of principal is very small, but you are reducing the principal. Otherwise, you'd never pay off the loan.
I don't know. I think we were paying for 20 years, and it was the same. Anyway, but whatever. So that'll. That's the story.
Okay, well,
That's the
thank you.
story. You're not allowed.
You're delving into that answer.
Okay. So let's go to the next paragraph. We call upon Alan to continue.
There is another kind of robbery between partners. One is miserly and refuses to spend money on his family. The other partner comes and gives money to his wife without his knowing.
Alan, can you speak louder?
Okay. There is another kind of robbery between partners. When one is miserly and refuses to spend money on his family, the other partner comes and gives money to his wife without his knowing, and then takes money from the business as compensation. This person is a robber and a sinner for something that does not belong to him. There's another upright path before a man, even more common among women, give charity gifts or make expenditures without the owner's knowledge. This too is considered robbery. Similar, a person who borrows an object without the owner's awareness is a robber. Baba Messiah, 41a, many people have made this mistake with shoes, books, etc.
Wow. There's partners. People are partners in a business, and one of the partners doesn't give his wife and his family enough money. Another partner comes along and he gives money to the wife without telling the other partner. And then, in order to compensate himself that he did this big mitzvah, he steals money from the business. So this is not allowed. You can't do a mitzvah by stealing. So you can't do that. Okay.
But it's an interesting case because I can see how he could rationalize and say, look, I'm not stealing, I'm giving it to his own family.
Yeah. Right. It's not as bad as a what do you call it? A bank robber. Well, that was Robin Hood, right? If there ever was such a person like that.
Well, that's a little different because he wasn't giving it to, he was stealing from the rich and he wasn't giving it to the family of the rich person. He was giving it to completely unrelated people.
Oh, these people are related. Okay. No, it's all right. I don't know if it makes it any less of a mitzvah or any bigger of an avera.
I would think it's less of an avera if you're stealing the money, but it's not going to you.
That's still not a good thing. It's not yours to take,
Well,
whatever you're
Pele
doing
Yoetz
with it, it's
agrees
not
with
yours
you,
to take.
Eliezer.
I'm sorry?
The Pele Yoetz agrees with you 100%.
Yeah, it's not yours to take. No matter what your goal is in doing it, if it's a proper goal, there are other ways to reach it without violating the Torah. Okay, if it's meant to be, it's meant to be. So it'll work out. But,
He could probably deduct this guy. He gives the money to the wife. It could very well be that he could maybe he could deduct it from his meister. He could regard it as charity.
Sure.
This woman is a poor woman, even though she's married to a man who's able to support her, but she's not being supported. What's she supposed to do?
That's fine.
But in that case, he's giving his own money. He's not giving the money that he took from the business.
Right. He can certainly give out of his own pocket. He can certainly give out of his own pocket. But it's when he touches somebody else's money that he runs into trouble.
Yeah. Yeah, no, it's yeah. Right. I'm just saying, assuming that the person gives meiser, assuming that the person gives charity,
he can direct
just
where
say,
it goes
look,
to.
Yeah, I had, and he has, let's say he has 500 every month that he gives. So this will be a part of that 500.
Yeah,
He's not gonna, doesn't have to, but, okay.
Time's up.
All right.
Time is up.
Have a good day, everybody.
Bye to Mayor.
See you, Eliezer.
Thank you
Have
very
a good
much.
day.
See you,
Bye,
Mayor.
Eliezer.
See you. Okay.
Have a good day.
Bye.
Bye. Okay, we'll be back very soon.